One, most importantly, is to be authentic. You have to be an authentic leader. Two, I would say coaching your people through development is absolutely critical. And the third thing I would say is that motivating your people through the journey of their career and supporting them in that and being an advocate of them so that they are successful. Well, the authentic leader is to be true to yourself and true to the people you're working with. So what I would do in relation to, the authenticity of me is around, it's like they do in school, the show and tell. Well, who am I? Who is the real person, Louise Phelan? And what does that mean to my team? And I think if you're authentic in that way, people have a relationship with you and know you outside of just the business Louise Phelan, but know you from a personal standpoint, and then they can make a connection with you. I think it's extremely important, and I think we're doing an awful lot about it through industry, through government. We're doing a lot about it, but I think from our standpoint in PayPal today, we look at diversity not just from the point of view of gender. We look at it from all facets, because really what we're looking for is diversity of thought around the table as opposed to gender diversity. I think we're making good inroads. I think we've a long way to go, and I think the things that we are doing is certainly going to make a difference in the coming months and years. I absolutely think there is, and if you look at our own organisation, we're about 50-50. But what I do believe the challenge and opportunity, as much as it's a challenge, I see it as a bigger opportunity in the sense of females sometimes have the perception that it's white coats. And it's far from white coats when you look at some of the technology companies that we have here. It's not that, and I think it's around the education of that. What does women in technology mean, and what does technology roles really look like? And I mean, we have a huge amount of women in technology across eBay Inc., which is really important to us, and we're driving that number all the time and doing campus recruitment. I think it's really important to educate people on it's not about the white coat, it's about how you can make a difference in technology, and technology is not about being in a lab. We are very proud and very happy that we have a strong 20 graduates that took our graduate programme back in November. Graduates bring a huge opportunities, but also they bring huge bandwidth to an organisation, and that's why we insist on having a graduate programme every year. The graduates that we have to date have done a fantastic job and continue to do a fantastic job, and they're excelling through our organisation, but also they're motivating and mentoring all of our teammates that don't have our graduates today. And I think that's really important, because if the building was full of all graduates, it certainly wouldn't work either. No more than if the building was full of females, it wouldn't work either. So we have a huge part to play in making sure that we bring graduates to the level that they need to be at. And when I talk about we, I talk about education, I talk about industry, and I talk about parents. So I think there's a tripartite here where we all have a part to play to make sure that we set our graduates up for success. And if we're not setting up for success, I don't blame the graduates, because in fairness to them, they don't know what they don't know. So I think it's our responsibility as parents, as industry and as government to set them up for success when they are going into industry. And they have to remember their first foot into industry is through their CV. And they need to make sure that that's the best it's ever going to be, because based on the graduate programme that we did here in November, we got 343 CVs. So based on that, there's a lot of pre-work that needs to be done, and your CV needs to stand out from everybody else. Remember, when graduates are coming into the workplace, we want to set them up for success. They're coming out with all of the academic works and understandings. Fantastic, and they really have it. The piece they have to understand is when they come into industry, they have to learn how to implement that into the real world. And I think that's a journey, and they're all on a journey, and they all have trying to do the right thing. But sometimes they don't know what they don't know. And I think it's our responsibility as industry, government and parents to help them to understand what they don't know.